Well, hello, this is Richard, and welcome back to Stuff You Can Do in Excel, Tableau, and Power BI. Today is the third part of our lecture or video on how to get into Tableau, how to start using Tableau if you're a beginner. This particular video is on uploading your data file. We've got a part one and a part two. Part one sort of introduces it. Part two is going to help you to understand what the interface looks like so that you can navigate your way around. Part three is going to be uploading an actual data file. So let's just get right into it. So what we're going to do with this is, here's our file, and we're going to upload a file. So we're going to go to, again, we're going to go down to Excel, and this time we're going to upload a file called Financial Sample. So I'm going to upload Financial Sample, and we're going to open that up and see what it looks like. So it opens it up down here at the bottom. Some things I want you to note is that Tableau is pretty good at figuring out what each item in your data file is, right? So it's already looked, it identified this as a text file, a string of data. It identifies the country here as a geographic piece of data. Again, it's got the product and the discount band both identified as text. Units sold is a number, it looks like manufacturing price is a number, sales price is a number, gross sales is a number. So all these are numbers, and identified these appropriately green as measures, right? Now, what I always like to do is I like to use the data interpreter. It's not really good at cleaning the data, but it does tell you if the data needs to be cleaned. So I'll click the data interpreter. It's going to do its work, and then it's going to say, it says it cleaned it. It doesn't really clean it. It tells you what needs to be cleaned. So it's not a real good cleaning tool. It's going to open up the results in an Excel file that you can then read. Now, the first tab on this file is going to be simply a key for understanding the results. Anything that's shaded red, that's your headers. Shaded green is your data, right? Anything with a bright red box around it is bad. So we're going to click on sheet one, and we don't have anything with bright red around it, so we're good. We've got our headers, we've got our data, so we feel pretty good about this. We can go back into our file. I'll close that down and get rid of it. So what happens though if I have data that's not really usable, or that's got a problem with it? So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to go to data, and we're going to go to new data source. So when we go to new data source, it opens up a file that looks familiar to us. This is that screen we saw earlier, and look at all these different file types you can use. A lot of them. Okay, it goes way over here. So there's over 90 different file types you can use. So we're going to click on Excel again, and this time we're going to upload a file called Bass Fishing Accounts Receivable. So when I open Bass Fishing Accounts Receivable, I want you to notice something. When I open it, it didn't open, right? Why not? Well, it's already sensed that something wrong with it. This is telling me there's a problem with this data. If I drag big bass fishing over here to the drag tables, it looks a little weird, right? Customer numbers identified as a string, invoice is a string, city is a string, state is a string. The dates are strings. That just looks weird to me, okay? And if I run data interpreter on this and then look at my results, I'm going to get some interesting results. And one of the things it's going to tell me, for example, is that because we didn't look at the data first, I want you to notice something we're going to see down here. Oh my gosh, I got all this information in here. And I can't really just delete this. I know, because I'm going to show you when we get there. This looks like it's a number, but when you actually go to the Excel file, it's not a number, it's a formula. So I like to do my cleaning in Excel. So we're going to close this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Excel, and I'm going to open up this file, Big Bass Fishing Accounts Receivable. And we're going to do some quick data cleaning on this file. So then I happen to know it's right here, so we'll go ahead and do that. And again, this file you can also download. And it's got some data. It's got some things. I've got a column I don't need. I've got a row that's blank. I don't need it. I can't just delete these first four rows, because if I delete those, let's just hit delete and watch what happens. This is going to go to a reference, because those are actually formulas. So that's not going to help. So what I've got to do first is convert. First, I'm going to get rid of this extra column. So we'll just get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of the extra row that's blank. We're going to get rid of that. Then I'm going to go to this data, and I'm going to turn it into values, right? So I'll highlight it. I'll right click. I'll get my little crosshatch. I'll right click on the border. I'll drag it off. I'll drag it right back on top of itself. And it's going to ask, do you want to copy here as values only? I'll say yes. And now those are values. They're not formulas anymore. I can delete these first four rows, and it doesn't affect my data. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to save this, and I'm going to save it as something called, I'm going to call it Big Bass Fishing, let's call it Big Bass Fishing Accounts Receivable, and call it cleaned. And it'll save it. Now I've already saved this once, so it's going to say, oh, you already got it. Do you want to replace it? I'm going to say, yeah. So, so I've got this data, so I can close this down. Now what I can do is I can go back into my data. I can do data, new data source, Excel, and now I'm going to upload my Big Bass Fishing Accounts Receivable cleaned. And so when I upload that file, you notice it opens. That's a good indication there's probably nothing wrong with it. I'll run my data interpreter just to be sure. And in fact, when I run my data interpreter, it's going to open it up again, and what we're going to see is that it's a good, nice, clean file. When I click here, there's the file, and it's nice and clean. I can use it now, and that's going to be really helpful. So the next thing we're going to do, so after I close this down, in part 4 of this, I'm going to look at how to take this and actually do some simple visualizations.